Artificial reefs, they are helping fish thrive in the Gulf. Florida Gulf Coast University wants to build a new artificial reef a few miles offshore of Wiggins Pass, pretty close to the Lee and Collier County line. This new reef could help answer some very important questions about life underwater. We sent NBC2's Devin Turk to the bottom of the Gulf to find out how the reef will serve as a living science experiment that everyone can experience.
Well, the underwater ecosystem is such a critical part of life here in Florida, and there's plenty more than meets the surface. That's why we went scuba diving 30 feet underwater to try and see what lessons we could learn from the bottom of the Gulf.
We took the boat, we came up and out New Pass, and then we came out to the GH Reef.
World off our coast can be a barren wasteland.
When you look at the bottom all around here, it's just sand. And it's basically an underwater desert.
That's where the artificial reefs come in. The giant structures create habitats for all kinds of different organisms.
It's almost like you're driving into a city, if you will, like a city of fishes coming out of the rural areas.
And soon, FGCU will put 4 new structures off our coast,
where we'll actually manipulate what's going on. It's like a living laboratory.
The barge below me is an example of what the artificial reef may look like. It harbors a variety of life, from things like coral and sponges to Goliath grouper and barracuda. Professor Mike Parsons says they'll be able to use their reef to run experiments to see how events like hurricanes, red tide, and freshwater releases affect the ecosystem.
How quickly would the system recover, and how closely will it return to the way it was before?
Then there's the invasive lionfish.
Lionfish, they're kind of everywhere, they eat everything. We don't really know the scope of the impacts they're having locally.
Important information they're hoping the reef can shed some light on.
But if we move the lionfish over to one of the reefs, we can see the impacts the lionfish would be having on the other fish, the smaller fishes.
Very cool. And understanding them is the first step to controlling them. Lessons that can only be learned from the bottom of the Gulf. And it's not just for students and staff. You'll be able to dive off of it and fish off of it as well. Right now they're in the fundraising and permitting phase, but they hope to have the reef out in the water here by the end of the year. Live in Fort Myers Beach, Devin Turk, NBC2.